Welcome to episode 5, How to Make Leaders Take Notice. Listen folks, your boss can tell within 5 minutes whether you're worth investing in. The question is, are you showing up in a way that makes them notice you for the right reasons? Too many people assume that just showing up is enough, but if you want leadership opportunities, you must stand out from the crowd and prove that you're ready for more. In this episode, I'll show you exactly how to do that. Number 1, why leaders pay attention to certain people and ignore others. Good leaders are constantly observing their teams, looking for people who 1, can be trusted with responsibility, 2, show initiative without being told, and 3, make their jobs easier, not harder. On the flip side, they also notice people who are 1, just there to collect the paycheck, need constant reminders or supervision, and 3, do the bare minimum and complain about everything. Consider this example. 2 workers on the same crew. I worked with 2 guys who had about the same experience level, similar skills, and the same job title, but one of them always looked for ways to be helpful. He would ask questions, showed up early, and paid attention. The other guy just did his job and went home. After a few months, when leadership opportunity came up, who do you think got promoted? The guy who proved himself through his actions, not the one who just blended in. What's the lesson? You don't need to be perfect. You do need to show up to show that you're willing to learn, improve, and take initiative. Number 2, the number 1 thing that makes leaders notice you: consistency. Showing up like a leader every day. It's not about one big moment. It's about proving yourself daily. Leaders look for people who bring the same energy and focus every day, not just when they're in the mood. If you slack when no one's watching, trust me, someone is still watching. Work ethic, doing more than what's required. The easiest way to stand out, always do a little more than expected. The shift ends at 3:30 and something still needs to be done. The person who steps up will be noticed. And I'm not talking about working an hour extra for free, but the little extra you do will be noticed. I want to share 3 examples. One of them is my own promotion that came when one of our big time GFs, who I didn't even know very well, lined me out on a project. Now I realize it was a test later, but I did this job and finished it by the end of the day. I believe he thought it was supposed to take me about 2 days. When he came to look at my work, he was surprised. It was done early. He offered me a role to run a large project that very day, and I eventually became his right-hand man and stayed on that site for over 7 years. Next example, the guy who made the boss's life easier. I once worked with a guy who checked in with the boss every time the job was almost done and said, "Is there anything else you need before I go?" That small habit made him stand out, and within about 6 months, he received a leadership position. Initiative, taking action without waiting to be told. Leaders don't want to manage every tiny detail. They trust people who see what needs to be done and then do it. Third example, the apprentice who became a supervisor quickly. I knew a guy who started as an apprentice, and within a short time, he was supervising. Once he turned to journey level, he was made a foreman. Why? Because every time the foreman was about to ask him to do something, he had already started it. The boss never had to chase him down. He was always a step ahead. What is the lesson? Initiative isn't about just doing random tasks. It's about paying attention and solving problems before they happen. Number 3, the simple formula for getting noticed at work. If you want leadership to notice you, follow this formula. Step 1, always be early. Never just on time. Showing up 10 to 15 minutes, even 30 minutes early tells leaders you take your job seriously. The people who rush in right on time look unprepared. Example, the guy who beat the foreman to work. I also worked with a guy who made it a goal to always be there before the foreman arrived. One day, the boss noticed and said, "You always beat me here. Are you looking for more responsibility?" That was his opportunity to move up. Step 2, ask questions that show your thinking. Don't just ask questions for the sake of asking. How could I do this job better? Is there a faster way to handle this? What do you think makes someone great at this role? Why? Because smart questions show engagement and a desire to improve. Step 3, be 100% focused when working. No distractions. Example, the worker who avoided drama and stood out. I also once worked with someone who avoided all workplace drama, gossip, and distractions. He just focused on his work, helped his team, and did his job with eagerness. That alone made him stand out. Within a few months, he was trusted with bigger tasks. Step 4, show leadership before you have the title. Help others on your team, even if it's not your job. Be the first to step up when a problem needs to be solved. Take ownership of your work, whether it's big or small. Number 4, why some people never never get noticed and stay stuck for years. Some workers stay in the same role for years because they complain more than they contribute, think leadership should come to them instead of earning it, only do what they're told, nothing more, focus on getting through the day instead of improving. Example, the worker who stayed stuck for 10 years. I knew someone who had been in the company for over 10 years in the same position. He was reliable, but he never stepped up, never asked for more responsibility, and never showed any desire to grow. Meanwhile, new hires were passing him within a year or two. Why? If you don't give leadership a reason to invest in you, they won't. Finally, standing out at work isn't about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about proving every single day that you're an asset. Start showing up early, thinking ahead, and taking responsibility. If you do that consistently, leadership will take notice and opportunities will come your way. In the next episode, I'll show you the biggest mistake that keeps workers from getting ahead and how to avoid it. So go watch episode 6. Taking direction like a leader in trading. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening.